Alright, I don't know who keeps making these posts. So we have Itachi versus Aizen. Now there's a guy in every single comment of all of my YouTube videos that's basically said, please make a video about Naruto characters that can counter Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu. Now the reason why I was laughing in the beginning is because these matchups are just so ridiculous, like putting Bleach characters, especially Aizen. But let's go over it. So I believe that this commenter thinks that Kyoka Suigetsu is the hypnosis ability. But complete hypnosis is actually Kanzen Saimin. That is the name of the ability that puts people into the Bleach equivalent of what would be similar to like a Genjutsu. Except this is much more powerful. This is Kanzen Saimin. Kanzen means like complete or perfect. So basically it gives the person who has the Kyoka Suigetsu, which is Aizen Shikai, the power at any given time he can control all of the five senses and cause you to see anything that he desires. So which Naruto characters can counter this? Now, a lot of Naruto fans back like when they genuinely believed Itachi could beat Goku. Do you remember that? And the reason why Itachi fans genuinely believe that Itachi basically no-diffed anyone outside of the Naruto verse is because it says only another Sharingan user can handle Itachi. So they basically interpreted this entire panel to be, unless if you got the Mangekyo Sharingan, you can't actually handle the Tsukuyomi. So using Itachi fan logic, this would mean that Itachi would beat Kyoka Suigetsu, aka Kanzen Saimin or Aizen. But the thing is, Itachi kind of capped around like being defeated by Sasuke level. So he was knocked out of the game well before any of the Osutsuki or the planetary level hard hitters came in. In other words, Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan will not live up to the same standard as Planet Busters. So then if you wanted to argue that whole universal meta for Naruto, that people like Momoshiki or even Kaguya was able to use the infinite Tsukuyomi, which was able to basically put everybody in the entire planet under it, except for Sasuke because he used his eye, and this enabled him to protect himself from the infinite Tsukuyomi. So this would mean you would need an eye similar to Sasuke, such as the Rin Sharingan, or Rinnegan, or a Sutsuki level Sharingan. So in other words, for Aizen not to be caught in this kind of Genjutsu, he would have to scale beyond these characters in dimensionality. Simply put, Aizen would have to prove that he can beat characters more powerful than these guys. Now, it was actually proven that Aizen was able to use Kanzen Saimin on Yuha, and the time that he used it was actually prior to this Yuha. It was during their first meeting back when he was locked away in Mugen, and Aizen meets Yuha for the first time. This is where Aizen basically puts him under his own form of Genjutsu, Yuha that is. Because we know now Yuha at this point in time has the power to alter the future and all kinds of stuff. The power of the Almighty. In short, Aizen was able to use this very ability, Kanzen Saimin, on even Yuha, who was stated to be destroying the entire universe, or the three realms, and people debate about whether that's three worlds or whatever. But basically, the Soul King initially split the original universe into those three realms, and Yuha was going to destroy those three realms, which effectively was the entire universe the Soul King had reshaped or recreated, putting him on at least a universal scale. And it was also stated in the novels that Yuha had transcended everything. That if Yuha failed as the current replacement for the Soul King, then Ichigo would also transcend everything and become the new Soul King replacement. So in other words, Aizen is able to use this ability on even universal level threats. So then the question becomes, are these guys universal level? And I mean, depending on who you ask, some people are going to say Naruto characters are not even planetary because creating a planet doesn't count and all that kind of stuff. Remember that? And then Twitter is claiming currently that Boruto is solar system level. And then there's that really old meta where basically people claim that Kaguya was universal because she was creating her own time spaces or space-time continuums is what people try to argue. So in conclusion, if you can genuinely prove the universal Naruto meta, in theory, you can argue that these beings could potentially use a Genjutsu that's more powerful than Aizen. And that's why you see so many of these like One Piece Naruto people claiming that Bleach verse is mountain level. Like I literally was just scrolling and saw Bleach verse scales to country level. But if you want my actual valid scaling opinion, I don't believe in the universal meta. I don't think they even come close to that. At least these characters. I do believe, however, that Aizen is on a universal level, and that Bleach scaling is a lot more consistent, especially when they have a whole canon novel that basically just consist of power scaling feats. Like the entire novel. There's actually a couple of these novels, like you got to get all of them.